Hey everyone, so I wanted to take a few minutes here and kind of do a real quick training on some information, some websites that people have sent to me from folks that they're trying to sign up or introduce APLGO to that accuse APLGO of being a scam. So I'm going to share my screen and show you one of the websites that I've come across, and I want to just kind of show you some things that are stated in that website and provide some context behind the information that's shared on there. So when you're having conversations with these people, you know how to best address any concerns that they may have of whether APLGO is a scam or not. And I'm going to tell you it's not, but I want to provide context on there. So you can also send this recording to them if you'd like, or just try to grab some notes of things that I have. Oops, I forgot to hit the share screen. So let me hit share screen button first. And we'll see. This should work as soon as it counts down. 3, 2, 1. All right, there we go. Now you should all be able to see my screen. And I'm going to jump over to this website here. So this is one of the websites that I was introduced to a couple of times. And I want to just scroll through here a little bit. Now, first and foremost, I want to point out two things. In our industry, and well, let me back up. I'm not going to say that this website is doing that, but this does happen in our industry. And that's one of two things. One is there are websites, blogs, people that will intentionally gather information or write things negatively about a company. It's not just network marketing companies, it can be other companies in general. They will then reach out to that company and say, hey, we've got a bunch of bad reviews over here. We can make that go away or change those reviews if you hire us or basically pay us to change the information they're sharing. So kind of blackmail-ish feeling. For the most part, companies will do that because they'd rather just pay the nominal fee of hiring someone, $1,000, $2,000, whatever the case may be, instead of hiring an attorney for blackmail, which can cost easily many $1,000s more. So again, I'm not accusing this website of doing that, but there are websites that do that. The next thing that I noticed about here is this company is interesting in that right up here at the top in their APLGO review, 1 star, half star, 0.6 out of 5, terrible reviews. But then if you look right there in the blue square, the blue rectangle, it says to invest in crypto cloud mining companies. So they're basically saying APLGO is garbage and we think you should invest in this instead. Now, as I scrolled further down, keeping in mind that crypto cloud there, I want to point out something right down here. Over on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see where it says profit farmers. Beneath that, it says partnership, and then there's this little person icon. So if we scroll back up to the top, guess where that person icon shows up as? That is their logo. So I noticed that they're basically saying APLGO is garbage. We think you should invest in this crypto mining company. And oh, by the way, we have a partnership with them, so we get a little bit kickback. So just keep that in mind, putting this into context. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is just kind of go through some of the things that are stated here. In this top paragraph on the screen, it says, however, APLGO has gone through various stages of transformation. Now the primary focus of the company is on its MLM scheme. Well, first off, they use the word scheme, which already has a naturally negative connotation to it, when really it's an MLM business model. It's not a scheme, it's a business model, is first. Second, to say that it's now the primary focus of the company is really out of context. Sergey, the owner, has always wanted APLGO to be in the network marketing or MLM space. He grew up in the MLM space, so he knew that when he had an opportunity to have his own business, it was going to be MLM. So it is not now the primary focus. It has always been the primary focus almost 10 years ago. So let's go to the next thing on here is this paragraph that starts with Sergey, the next one that starts with in order, and then the last paragraph on your screen below the blue picture that says the company. All of those paragraphs make various references to this company being in Russia or only having Russia presence and no physical presence in the US. And they are clear in that physical presence. Well, first and foremost, yes, Sergey is Russian. Sergey grew up in Russia. That's where he started this company. That's a fact. That's just the way it is. He happened to be the one that found this technology and purchased the technology from the professor in Italy. Now, as we talk about a physical presence in the United States, true, well, depending on how you describe or define physical presence. I am an independent associate with APLGO. I live here in the United States. I have a physical presence in the United States as an independent associate. Our products are here in the United States. We have 2 distribution centers. We have various professional companies that we have hired to help us through the regulation process, the legal process, everything required to be a registered company here in the United States, which gets to the second part of this. We can debate the notion of physical presence in the United States. But what you can't debate is that we have a legal registered presence in the United States. There are many international companies that don't necessarily have headquarters, physical brick and mortar building in the United States, but they're legally registered to do business in the United States. Likewise, there are American-based companies that do business overseas. They may not necessarily have a 5th floor of a high-rise over in Hong Kong, but they're legally able to do business in the United States. So to me, those comments are trying to deceive the matter and cloudy it and paint it in a negative picture, when you peel back the smoke, the curtain that they have, I don't see that as a valid issue to say APLGO is a scam. So let me go to the next one here under domain insights. Now, I'm not going to debate the numbers on here, the 63%, the 11%, the 2%. Obviously, they did their research and they got those numbers from, well, I shouldn't say obviously. Apparently, they did some research and got those numbers from somewhere. But those numbers are very much out of context because APLGO has existed in Russia and Eastern Europe for almost 10 years. They came to the United States in July of 2020. So you're comparing almost 10 years, or if we just go back to July of 2020, you're comparing about 9 years of a presence in, let's just say, Russia versus 8 months or a month. Well, let me back that up. If we look at right now, you're comparing almost 10 years of presence in Russia with a year presence in the United States. So when you're looking at website traffic, of course you're going to have more website traffic when you have 10 years of a presence, 10 years of growth in that country, 10 years of associates joining compared to 1 year. So again, those numbers may be correct, but not entirely accurate when you look at the total picture of what is happening here with APLGO. And they say that Russia is still the largest market for it. Of course they are. They've been there for 10 years. They've been in the United States for a year. But here's what's interesting. That next sentence, the second paragraph under domain insights. However, APLGO is also becoming a very popular, I think there's a misprint there, but because more and more people believe it is a genuine and profitable platform. So it's interesting that they have this one sentence in here saying that it is becoming popular and that people believe it's genuine and profitable. So interesting that they point that out. Now, next thing here is how to join APLGO. They state that it is in the first paragraph, first sentence, a considerable amount of money to join APLGO. Well, I don't personally consider $25 or $125 to be a considerable amount of money, especially when you compare it to what it costs to start a business or what it costs to join other network marketing companies. The previous company my wife and I were in, they now are at, I think it's a $450 or $500 fee in the first month to get started. When you look at a traditional brick and mortar, you're talking about tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to get started with that. So you can technically start with APLGO for $25. Now, we have those packages for you to come in at. They do give you higher percentages in the compensation plan, but here's the thing to keep in mind to kind of put this in context. You're getting product. For that $125, you're getting $100 worth of product. So it isn't a fee, a startup cost. You're actually getting product in your hands. And regardless of all of that, I personally don't think $125 is a lot to start your own business, as I stated previously, based off our past experience. So let me move on to the next one here, which is, it's in this paragraph right here. Oh yeah, so in this paragraph here, the second sentence says, this is a very high amount for an MLM company. It's really not. I mean, there are some clothing companies, there are, some cutlery companies where you're literally spending hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to get product, to get started. My wife and I are watching a documentary right now, and I think some of the buy-ins on some of those were like $9,000. And here's another thing that's interesting. With the promos that this company runs all the time, for example, the one going on right now, you're getting 100%, 150%, 200% in free product. So if we look at that $125 amount that they focus in on, the $25 is the fee. If it's $100 in product and you're getting another $150 in free, you're getting $150 in free. So for $275 is in price, product, fee, you're only paying $125. So that also is pretty remarkable that you get free product to help sample people, to help grow your business. Now, the next thing I want to point out here, interestingly enough, happens to be a big break in their article where they go in and talk about profit farmers, finance, profit farmers, profit farmers, profit farmers. So again, they're trashing APLGO, and they keep telling you to go do this, go do this, go do profit farmers. So a little bit of bait and switch, a little bit of smoke and mirrors, maybe. I'm not accusing them of doing this, but it certainly looks like it on the surface when they're providing all of these different links to say, this is garbage, go do this instead. So let me go to financial freedom here, just a couple more things to highlight. The last sentence on financial freedom, however, there's no proof that the company is actually capable of providing such profits to its users. Well, that is just flat out incorrect. We are making money. A lot of you on this call are making money. The people above us that joined earlier are making money. So the proof is we've made money. We've been in this now for 13 months. We're over $110,000. So there is proof that the company is capable of paying. It's the same compensation plan they've had in place since the beginning, almost 10 years. Again, they started in Eastern Europe and in Russia. And from my understanding is if Sergey, the owner, owed people money in those countries and he did not pay, there would be a bounty on his head if he would even be alive. They don't mess around over there, where if you're owed money, you need to pay up. So the fact that he's got like 290,000 associates worldwide, primarily in Eastern Europe and in Russia, and he's been around and in business for almost 10 years, and he's been paying people, or the fact that he's alive, I think is indicative that he's been paying people, or he's just really good at hiding, but it's because he's actually paying people. So let's look at successful here. The last sentences there in successful. Despite its claim of being a global company, there is no external data that validates such claims. Well, that is just flat out incorrect. Our team, we directly have people in Canada, Australia, Philippines, Mexico, Latin America, Dominican Republic. I believe we have people in Costa Rica as well. We're about ready to have people in Brazil. I feel like I'm missing one or two countries, but I can tell you directly for Erin and I, we have people on our team that we communicate with regularly that live in other countries and are growing this in other countries. So that is just flat out not accurate at all. Source of revenue, the bottom sentence or the last sentence in source of revenue. Therefore, the primary source of revenue of APLGO is affiliate members and not the products. Well, this requires some context. So in other countries, they do not have the FCC like we do here in the United States. So they can literally exist with just affiliate members or associates, as we call ourselves. They can literally exist with just associates. They are not required to have a customer base over in other countries, primarily Eastern Europe and Russia. Here in the United States, we are required to have a customer base. Otherwise, you get shut down. So here's the second part of that context, or additional information to put that in context. We're in a whisper campaign. We're in and moving into pre-launch. During a whisper campaign and during pre-launch, the entire goal is to get associates signed up and in place and educated and profitable. So when you launch, when the business really opens up the doors, you now are ready to establish a customer base. So while that statement is technically correct, it lacks context. So we are growing and getting customers signed up, and our customer program is going to go live here very shortly, and we will see our customer revenue and our customer base grow significantly. So let's take a look at this reliable team. The last sentence on this reliable team says, such kinds of statements make it clear that the APLGO is concealing the identities of people actually behind it. Well, again, we need context. Because it's a network marketing company, we are not technically employees of APLGO. So we are independent associates, and it's up to us of whether we want our identities to be known or not, since we are independent associates. My wife and I, we are loud and proud that we are APLGO associates. Some people may sign up their business, so their personal name is not actually listed with APLGO. Another thing, people come and go in network marketing companies all the time. Could you imagine APLGO or other big network marketing companies that have hundreds of thousands of associates, of keeping track of that, of who is still doing the business, who is not still doing the business? Well, they haven't been active in 4 months. Does that mean they're not doing it? Does that mean they are? How do the logistics behind that? There's no human resources department that is paying your paychecks and keeping track of your taxes and your vacation leave and your sick leave and all that, like you have in corporations, where you actually sign a contract to become an employee. That's not how network marketing reacts. So that, to me, that is a statement that is meant to deceive. When if you look at the reality of it, it's just not a corporate business. So therefore the identities, and even, corporations don't release all of the identities of their employees. It's called personal privacy. So let's take a look at the next one, where we're getting towards the end here. So under the APLGO logo, that paragraph, the first sentence, similarly, recruitment commissions are a major part of the company, like any MLM platform. Well, that gets back to what I just talked about, where we are at in the process right now. We are in the process of getting associates signed up. So of course, if that's our focus right now, that's where our commissions are going to come from. As the customer base grows, that's where our income will start coming. As things sit right now, 25% of our total paycheck has come from reorders of customers and associates. So that's that recurring income, not just the recruitment. So it lacks context in there a little bit. We have 11 different ways to be paid or rewarded. They're focusing in on one aspect of it when they talk about recruitment commissions. And again, in a whisper campaign, that's what you're doing. You're recruiting. So the second paragraph there, the paragraph right above conclusion, the last sentence says most of these commissions are only after you spend a large amount of investment in the company. That's just not true. Yes, being a VIP or being a diamond gives you larger percentages as it relates to the ninery. And then also the diamond gives you the largest percentage as it relates to the unilevel. However, you're not required to be those higher levels in order to make commissions. You can work your way up through the ranks by being an associate, by being a manager, by being, I'm drawing a blank on a promoter, I think is one of the other titles. So it's not required, and you don't only get access to that. You just maximize your paycheck with those other ranks. So that is a misunderstanding of the compensation plan with that comment there. All right, lastly, in conclusion, this paragraph here, instead, the company is based in Russia and trying to attract people from all over the globe to make more profits. Well, yes, they are. Sergey's Russian. That's where he was born. That's his nationality. He happens to be the owner, and we are trying to attract people from all over the globe to make more profits. I don't see why that statement is in there. It seems to be trying to make a negative, when my understanding of businesses is they're all trying to make profits. And we are trying to have a global business. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Even non-for-profits try to make a profit in order to grow their non-for-profit. So to me, that is a little bit of trying to be deceptive. And again, if you put it in context, to me, that sentence really doesn't make any sense in there of why they included it. So let's go and take a look at this last paragraph right here, where it starts with the company. They talk about, check my notes here, that unless under these packages, the users are forced to buy APLGO products every month. I feel like that is another attempt to slander the industry. But again, if you put it into context, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So let's think about this for a minute. You're forced to buy APLGO products every month. Well, if you are selling a product or promoting a product, don't you think it would make sense to actually know what that product is, what that product does, what that product tastes like? Do the clothes fit? Do the clothes feel comfortable? Does the protein powder taste good? Does the protein powder mix well? You know, whatever the case may be. Now, if we put that into corporate America, if you owned McDonald's, do you think you would be required, or to use their language, forced to buy McDonald's fries in order to put in your fry bins and sell at the McDonald's counter? Yes. Do you think if you owned a AutoZone auto parts store, you would be forced to buy AutoZone products to sell in your store? Yes. So to me, that's an intentionally deceptive statement they have in there. And again, as a good business owner, you want to be a product of the product. So you can share your testimonies. You can tell people what these taste like. You can tell people how to suck them underneath your tongue. So forcing you to buy it, to me, is an intentional statement to slander APLGO and therefore the industry. But again, when you peel back the onions and take a look at it a little better, it doesn't hold a lot of water to me in my mind. So that is, I believe, all the comments I had on here. I do know of, that was all I had. I do know of a couple of other websites that I will do the same sort of thing, where I will go through there and take a look at it and kind of give my thoughts. So hopefully this was helpful to you as it relates to this particular website. I will tell you that the other websites have a lot of similar statements in there where they say this is garbage, but here you should go do this instead. And they also don't understand the compensation plan, or they're evaluating APLGO as it existed in the United States like 2 years ago, which we really didn't exist in the US 2 years ago. So they're trying to make an analogy or a comparison or an evaluation of something that doesn't really exist yet. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. And like I said, I hope this was beneficial to all of you all. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments, reach out to me, and I'll try to help you as best I can. Take care, look for a couple more of these, and I hope this was helpful. All right, have a good day.